Okay, it is not visible for me on the screen.
We are live now. Dhendra, you can start. Dhendra, you can start. We are live now.
I'll start. Okay. Hello, all. A very good evening. My name is Diandra Disa, and I'm an associate admin at Foodyaari. So, the topic for today's session is food packaging essential techniques. Before we begin, let's take a minute to introduce you all to Foodyaari. Foodyaari is an all inclusive educational platform for all things food science and technology. It gives you an enriching learning experience in the form of articles, quizzes, webinars, courses, and much more. You even get a chance to interact and learn alongside like minded food science enthusiasts. So, now let's introduce our guest speaker for the evening, Mr. Maharajan Sundar from the Indian Institute of Packaging, Mumbai. An established professional in the field of packaging technology, we are grateful for his gracious presence at this event. He has worked as a territory executive at Captain Tractors Private Limited, after which he has worked as a manager for Anand General Merchants. He has completed his BE in agricultural engineering at the prestigious Anna University. Mr. Sundar is currently completing his PGDP at the Indian Institute of Packaging, Mumbai. Mr. Mr. Sundar has significant publications, internships, and certifications under his belt. His skills are unparalleled. It's a true honor to have you at this event this evening, sir. A warm welcome on behalf of Team Foodyaari. Over to you now.
Thank you, Diandra. Thank you, Foodyaari. And okay, Diandra, is my slide visible?
Yes, now it's visible.
Okay. Sorry. Good evening, everybody who is gathered for this online course on for the 2 day session on food packaging essential techniques. Okay. Uh, Today, let us look after the contents for today. It is introduction on packaging and packaging functions, classification and the selection of packaging materials, spoilage and packaging testing, important packaging testing we will do for an uh, food packaging. Okay, and it is always this session is conducted for this session is conducted for food tech professionals or upcoming graduates or recent graduates, and you can ask your doubts in the chat session. And this session, we request you to listen very carefully, and we would like to listen very carefully so that in between the slides we will have some questions for you. There is around 5 questions around here, so that it will be very it will be kept, it has kept us and criteria for certification and things and so. Okay, so listen the terms and definitions or something or elaborations which I convey during the session, so that keep your ears on and tell ask whatever you want in the chat box, so that we will find. If I see the chat box, I will answer your things, or else I will come back to you later. Okay. uh, okay, let us start with an introduction from an historical point of view. Where does packaging starts? Packaging started when human become existent. Human become existence in the sense, not like today. Earlier it was like people tend to migrate from one place to other. That time it is not like, mm, no packaging, no proper packaging is available. Apart from it, food is not available. It is always now in this trend, or earlier, very recently, the food has become converted into a processed industry, so that improving shelf life, maintaining or keeping preserved for a long period of duration, it has made possible, but earlier it was not possible. What they did is, seasonally we know that all the crops are grown seasonally. Seasonally in the sense, if people are used to stay together in a particular location where uh, the food staples or their ingredients or their major food products will grow up to a particular season in that land. After that, what happens? The environment doesn't suit for growing of particular food crops or whatever it is, so that the people tend to migrate from one place to the other. During their migration, it doesn't take an hour of travel or a half an hour of travel, 1 hour of travel. It takes them days to travel from one place to another, because there is no available of transportation that time. They, along with their animals, which served them, they also tend to migrate with them. So what they did is, initially, the crops which they have harvested, they dried those crops so that they folded or wrapped the food products inside the dried leaves, stalks, or hollow blocks of woods, and they transported from one place to another, so that during migration they can survive without any hungry. Okay, then what happened? Days passed by. It is the same scenario passed down. The guys, the people who over there, they made bags, sacks, baskets from the plant and animal wastes. Sorry, plant wastes, plant remains correctly, plant remains and animal skins. They made it and they continue to use from one place to. They continue to store and transport from food while they are migrating. Then what? Yeah, after some, this trend was continued for a bit of time, and then what they did is, they were using hollow blocks, and they started cutting it and they formed a box. They formed a box and they started transporting using wooden boxes. And suddenly, what happened? There were daily, because there is no sort of taps or pipes over the for water transportation, water consumption. They usually go to river banks. What their born an idea, they found clay. What they can do, they wondered, and they made a clay pot kind of thing, clay bowl kind of things. Initially, how they made, there is no proper structuring mechanism to form a to form a pot or something. So that what they did is, they started mixing clay with mud, dry clay with mud along, and they kept it as a core, as per the desired shape they required. And after that, what they do, they mix the clay with water, and they made it wet, like a dough, wet dough, and they sticked around the core, that is known as core. And after that, what happened? After they allow it to dry, after that they will remove the dry clay and cow dung inside it, and they used it for consumption. And this to the person who thought, there is another guy who thought, this drying under sun takes so much time, I want to do it very quick. What he did is, after forming it, he kept the designed pot or bowl or something into fire, so that it accelerated the drying process. After that, they came to know that it improves the properties in the sense hardness, or when we pour or keep some water or storage facilities, it made the structure more very hard, and leakage is prevented, so that they tend to start from it. Mm, uh, they tend to follow the technique by making the core, and they started to boil from it. And many centuries after, plastics and paper added to this portfolio. Before it, how the glasses are formed. In 50 BC, Romans formed the glass. They found glass beads, and they melted glass beads, and they made, what to say, they made a stocks kind of thing, and they stick together so that they dried it. After melting the beads, they formed stalks, and then they sticked all the strands together, and they allowed it to dry, and there formed the glass containers. And but there was a suddenly they found a blowing technique to make a hollow vessel out of glass. They found a hollow pipe so that they form a ball, molten glass ball, so that they blow from one end, it forms into an hollow vessel of their desired size and volume. And after that, Egyptians, this is the formation of glass. Egyptians, what they thought is they want to script something. They want to write their history details or something. But the writing media has to be portable. What they made is the portable media they have to make, so that what they made is papyrus. They took stock from the papyrus plant, and they dried the stalks, and they pounded it with pressure, and they pounded it pressure, and they dried it. After that, they used to write on it. This is the initial invention led to the innovation of true paper. Later, a Chinese person who found a true paper, found a true paper, and there it started. Initially, it started for writing purpose. Later on, the paper is used as a packaging material. And packaging, earlier, plastics was found, and the people, plastic was found in actually in 1877. 1877, they found 1877 cellulose was found, and there was from there it is not usually okay. Let's get into the thing. And from earlier, very recently, until 1980s, packaging, they treat people, what they treat packaging is as put it in a bag or a box and ship it. That's all. It is the most strategic technique followed by the company. And now the things are drastically changed. The packaging is an strategic, social, economic, and commercial tool now. It almost touches everybody in multiple ways in our everyday life. Packaging, it is made with the technique. It includes multiple disciplines, include science, commerce, engineering, arts, and design. With the complexity, it is with the complexity, packaging is made to bring positive impact to the simplest and most basic needs of an human being. Okay, let's Okay, let's get down to the packaging in food perspective, and in a normal perspective. Okay, in packaging, processed foods are along with their preservatives and things. Packaging plays an important role in expanding the shelf life of the product. Okay. Food, majorly food and beverages included. Food, beverages, and non-food products are in food, bever- food, beverages, and non-food products are made for. Excuse me. The packed food products include the processed fruits and vegetables, processed fish and meat, convenience snack food, milk and dairy products, biscuits, conventional cooking medium, tea and coffee, and other staples. Beverages include carbonated soft drinks, bottled water, non-alcoholic beverages, alcoholic beverages. Non-food, it includes pharmaceutical products, personal care products, home care, paints, varnishes, pesticides, cigarettes or tobacco, lubricants, and other non-foods. Now, packaging sector in India. Packaging sector comprises of packaging sector, in particular to the food industry, it occupies around 48%. 48% of the processed 48% of the processed food are packed, and personal care packaging comes around 27 percentage, healthcare products comes around 6%, and other market share as 19%. And what are the materials or the types of packaging or used for packaging of food? Packaging of in general, packaging in general, flexibles. Majorly, flexible occupies 30%. It is the major food packaging medium. Uh, Food packaging medium. Next comes the rigid plastics. It comes next to the flexibles. It occupies around 28%. Paperboard cartons. It evolves around 22%. Glass bottles 8%. Metal cans for 6%, caps and closures 4%, others 1%. Now, packaging sector in total, food and how much food and beverage industry consume packaging? It occupies around 50% of the total packaging consumed. And the growth of packaging market in from 2019 in from 2020 to 2025, the packaging of the processed food and beverages is tend to increase in a wide scale, and in a large range. And from 2019 to 2020, the packaging market of food products is of 290.2 billions, and it is expected to increase from 290 billion to 395 billion. Beverage packaging market is tend to jump from 210 to 281 billion. Now, take a pen and a paper, and try to write an answer for this. Packaging and packing, is both are same or no? They are different. Let us know. Listen it carefully. Is packaging or packing both are same or different? And in upcoming slides, I will let you know whether they both are same or totally different. Hope you guys have written. Okay, let's discuss what is packaging now. What is packing now? Packing Packing is generally an activity which is done to complete a product, which is done to complete packaging. Activities and operation or activities that are related to in packaging a product is generally known as packing. And what is packing? Packing, it ensures packaging ensures safe delivery of a product to the ultimate customer in a sound condition with overall minimum cost. The goods which are about to pack, it should be suitable for transportation, distribution, storage, marketing, retailing, and use of goods, so that the customer will get satisfied of by consuming the product in a sound condition. It is an techno-economic function. Packaging is always known as techno-economic function, so that lesser, they will focus on minimizing the cost of the packaging, thereby delivering a safe product to the customer. And packaging, it always communicates, so that it is known as a linkage between production and marketing. Whatever the things you wanted to say, you will just put it on over the package. Whatever it is a wonderful graphics or the information or the ingredients, you will communicate to the customer. You will attract the customer based upon the uh, graphic over the graphic and information displayed over the packaging material, packaging. So it is known, it provides a linkage between production and marketing, and it is the last output of production. Packaging is the last output of production, and it is the first input for marketing. And hence it is known as it is the first input of marketing and the last output of production. Hence the packaging is known as a silent salesman. Packaging functions, packaging are made to serve certain basic functions. Okay, certain basic functions, and out of which four are major functions. Contain the product inside, protect or preserve the product, help to transport the product from the manufacturing site to the end user, inform the customer about what it is really inside it, and it helps in storage and dispensing of the product. Okay, out of which contain, protect or preserve, transport, inform. These are the major functions of packaging. These four parameters are the major functions of packaging: contain, protect or preserve, transport, inform. Contain. When we make a product, we just want to hold the product inside the package, so that the packaging material has to be with suitable strength and other facilities to hold the product inside it. And apart from it, the food which is made earlier, with in the perspective of shelf life of 6 months or 1 month, they will add some preservatives in it, and based upon their shelf life, they will add preservatives, or based upon the nature of the product, they will add a stabilizer, coloring agents, so and so they will add, so that to maintain everything in a proper ratio while they have made it, while they are manufacturing the product, we have to protect the product, so that it will kept intact while it will kept intact the product as it is manufactured, so that the packaging material should serve the purpose of protecting and preserving the product which is packed inside. Okay, now the product is contained and protected. It has to be transported from one part to one point to the other for the distribution purposes. Or it should have the suitable strength to observe the vibrations during transport or handling. While handling is a thing where we transport, where we lift a product from in a bulk container or something, or in a small packages from one point to the another in a medium of roadways or rail or through uh, seaways. Okay. During this transport, n number of vibrations may cause. N number of vibrations may affect the packaging. N number of vibrations or disturbances may cause to the product within the package. For example, if we consider a biscuit, while during transportation, it might abrase with each other while due to vibration, so that it should not affect the product uh, during transportation and handling. And another major function of packaging is to inform the customer. is to inform the customer by the means of labeling what it contains, the food, what it contains, what it is made up of, directions of use, and other parameters like allergic precautions. Like this, it is made of this much of so and so, this much of so and so. They will inform the customer that it is made of this and it should be used in particular form or purpose. And packaging is used proper packaging will help in proper dispensing of products. Proper dispensing of products in, if we are getting a product, we should about to use it. We should use it. If there is no usage, it is very difficult for us to consume it. It should be very easy to open and close it. And another function of a product which I haven't mentioned here is reusability. Reusability in the sense, once we can't complete everything within a point of time. Within opening a packet, we can't consume everything. So that the product which is packed inside, should be reusable to the n number of times, so that the product is consumed safely by the consumer. There, now we can go to types of packaging. Packaging, uh, it it is it is of four types. It is called. It can be divided. It can be categorized into primary package, secondary package, tertiary package, and quaternary package. Primary package. How we can explain what is primary package? The package which is in direct contact with the product inside, it is known as primary package. The package which is in direct contact with the product is known as primary package, and the primary certain limits, particular limits of primary package are or held together in a package that is known as secondary package. And a certain number of secondary packaging secondary packed products are held in a package, it is known as tertiary package. And certain number of tertiary packed products are held together to form a quaternary package. And why this number of packaging is done? This number of packaging is actually done for handling purposes, for transportation purposes, for the ease of transporting the goods in a safe and sound condition from the manufactured site to the end user, so that these many packagings are done. So, and in for transportation, what it is done here, down the screen we see a primary package. A chocolate wrapped over a cover is known as primary package, and it is held a certain number of units like 50 to 100. It is held together and sealed in a cover. It is a secondary package. Then it is packed inside a carton box. It is a tertiary package. And the certain number of carton boxes, example in this case 4, it is known as quaternary package. Then what is unit load? Unit load is such number of distribution packages bound together to form a single entity, single package for the purpose of mechanical handling, storage, and shipping. Most commonly, the distribution packages are placed over a pallet. Then the packages are strapped together with the pallet, and this process is known as palletization. The palletized distribution packages is known as unit load. Most commonly, distribution packages or tertiary packages. The tertiary packages is also known as distribution packages are arranged over a pallet, and then the packages are strapped together with the pallet, with the pallet, and these distribution packages with the strapped materials, it is known as unit load, used for mechanical handling, storage and shipping. And write down the answer for this. Distribution package is also known as, what is the other term used for distribution packages? Hope you have written the answer. We will move forward to the next slide. And here comes the different types of packaging material. Uh, as we discussed, uh, there are many packaging material. Upon history, it is grown from it has, upon an era it has been changes. It has been changed and it has been evolved. Based upon it, the major types of packaging materials up to date in the industry are metal, glass, wood, paper and paperboard, laminates and plastics. And kindly comment in the comment section which of this packaging material you think is sustainable, which are the, I'm getting some answers like metal, glass, paper, wood, paper and paperboard. What was the question again? Which uh, which which of the materials listed out here is sustainable? The answers are metal, glass, paper, wood, paper, paper and paperboard, glass, glass, paper and paperboards, glass, wood, different, and plastic. One, one has answered as plastic, glass, wood, and paper. Okay. Another question. Could you define what, write in a small words, what is sustainability? What is sustainable? Answer in a simple definition in the comment section. Answer in a simple definition in the comment section. What is sustainability? Sustainability means something that is easily decomposed. Sustainability means good quality. Sustainability means environmental friendly or reusable, which can be used for a long time. Low process, low prices with live long. Minimum environmental impact. Activities or items whose consider depletion of natural resources. Environmental friendly, renewable, proper use of research. Okay, then many of you are actively listening. Okay, then I'll explain you what is sustainability. Till date there is no particular term or definition evolved for sustainability. uh, Whatever you think, whatever the answers you are telling in the chat box is almost right in your own perception, because till date there is no proper definition for what is sustainability. Okay, then in my perspective, what sustainability is? Sustainability is uh, reduction in the effective use of a product or effective manufacturing of a product, whatever the product it may be. Effective manufacturing of a product in consideration of the environmental effects such as water footprint, carbon footprint, which will help the future generation to lead an healthy life, to lead a reasonable or a good life. So that this is the perspective of mm, my sustainability. Okay. Now let us come to the topic, about again to the question what I have asked, which one of these materials is sustainable. Many of you has answered metal, glass, paper, and paperboard, wood. Okay. Let us think. Only one in the comment section has mentioned plastic. Metal. Consider a metal. Uh, Consider metal, glass, wood, paper, and paperboard along with plastics and laminates. You compare everything with plastics and laminates. Metal, in proportion of weight, it is heavy. For example, the Rasamalai tin, what you are seeing, the three-piece can, what you are seeing in the in the image, it weighs more than a packaging material, more than a plastic material. The Coca-Cola bottle you are seeing in the slide, it weighs way excess than the plastic material. Wood weighs high. Paper and paperboard. But here, in comparison with weight, it gives equal. It is more or less equal to the weight of a plastic. But the manufacturing process and the ability to withstand product is it will not serve as plastic. When we considering the manufacturing process of a paper, uh, firstly we will do harvesting of the trees and processing the trees. We will make a pulp out of it, and then we will use we will then we will make a sheets of paper using different chemicals, and then we will make a paper based upon the color and brightness. If we want a white paper, the processing has to be different. If we want a craft paper like the package in the cartons, if we are seeing that material, we have to use a different chemicals. So the use of chemicals and the consumption of water and the machinability, the machines used, and uh, the the process to water after the manufacturing process, which cause an environmental effects to the land also. So that the pepper in the manufacturing process, it consumes more water, it consumes more electricity, it consumes more labor, it consumes more chemicals. those chemicals along with the processed water will be ejected to the land, open land areas, thereby it uh, affects the land and land product, land and it is soil quality parameters. Like, but when we compare to the glass containers, it is okay. It is only the weight is the parameter, but it is capable of maintaining the shelf life. Metal, it is also a weight is the parameter. It is capable of maintaining the shelf life. But glass, it is not a easy product to handle. It is not a product. It can't be disposed in a proper way, or it cannot be leave it, it cannot be left out for a single consumption, because a company which is making a packaging material out of glass, we will it will consider, for example, food and beverage industry. In beverages, carbonated drinks are packed in a glass bottles, and what they will do is they will pack the initially the glass bottles are made in the industry, and they bring the glass from the they will fill the product and they will distribute to the supply chain. End user, we will get a 10 we will give 10 or 12 rupees. Earlier we just drink the coke bottles, coke inside, and we will return the glass to the retailer. What happens next? The retailer will again give it to the distributor, return it to the distributor. The distributor will return it to the warehouse of the company, and from the warehouse it again goes to the plant. Again, in the plant, the glass bottles are washed again, and it is chemically treated, and again it is filled, and again the same thing will be repeated from the manufacturing side to the warehouse of the company, to the distributor chain, from the distributor chain to the retailer, from the retailer to the consumer, for the effective use of the product. But in this chain, what happens? To and fro motion of the glass bottles happen. To and fro motion happens. Uh, to and fro motion happens. This increases the use of petrols, because these petrols and diesels, because these glass bottles are transported from one end to the another using heavy lorries or rails, which consumes diesel as a fuel for running. This increases the carbon footprint so that it cannot be sustainable, and the cost of manufacturing it is very high. So that what I am concluding is packaging is a lightweight product which can be made into desired shape. It can be used for a single purpose or per unit use of the product, for and it can give the all the parameters up to a maximum efficiency level, so that it is used. Okay, manufacturing process of plastics. It is generally the manufacturing plastics is like out of it is a byproduct of petroleum. It is made in the we get it is in a granule form. When it is in granule form, it is transported once, and it is made with with including less machines and less manpower. It is made and it is sent to the factory. The product fills, it will reach the customer, and it is no take back. So what happens is the cycle, which involves the manufacturing cost and the carbon footprint and water used and the electricity consumed, is very less in when compared to when compared to glass, metal, and wood. So that the packaging is the most sustainable material, but it is not properly managed. When a plastic will become a sustainable material, once the plastic is treated well, we are the people, we are not treating the plastic well. So that when we treat plastic and its products well, it will become the sustainable material. Okay, it is not listening properly. Okay. Types of polymers. Types of polymers used in making a packaging material. This is the polymer family tree. It is generally categorized into thermoplastics and thermoset. And under thermoplastics, there are polyethylene, vinyls, polypropylene, PAMA, ABS, nylon, polycarbonate, saturated polyester, peak polyurethane, and some thermosets as well, including PVC. And cross-linked thermosets include epoxy, melamine, formaldehyde, phenolic, polyester, polyamide, polyurethane, uh, silicon, urea, formaldehyde. Out of this, mostly used plastics in the packaging and their percentages are low density polyethylene. Low density polyethylene in the industry they use 32% for packaging of products, and then high density polyethylene 29%, polypropylene 11%, polycarbonate 11%, polyesters, that is polyethylene terephthalate 9%, polyvinyl chloride PVC, it is 5% low. Then comes trace amounts of low density, linear low density polyethylene, polyvinyl alcohol, ethylene vinyl alcohol, and nylon. And how a packaging material is selected. Packaging material selection criteria. Packaging materials are basically selected based upon the product characteristics. Based upon product characteristics. Hello. Packaging material selection criteria. The following are the list of selection criteria uh, of a packaging material. Firstly, it is product characteristics. Product characteristics in the sense, product characteristics, the nature of the product, the physical appearance, the chemical characteristics of the product, uh, the environmental hazards and functional requirements. These are the product characteristics. And packaging process. What is a packaging? Whether it is in the industry, whether the process is automatic or semi-automatic. Handling, handling and transportation, how it will be handled and how it will be transported, whether it is by the route of sea, whether it is by the route of roadways or by the rail means, how it is transported. And storage conditions, what are the conditions, in what conditions it will be stored, whether it will be stored in a hot temperature regions, whether it will be in cold conditions, or it is the product that is suitable for the product which is packed inside, which is for refrigeration purpose, or it is for room temperature purpose, or the end user requirements. What are the end user requirements? How to dispose the product, how to consume the product, how to open it, how to have it, all the uh, material selections criteria. The packaging requirements, out and out, the packaging requirements are, once if we are packaging a material, for example biscuit, it should be crisp when we consume at the end. For that, to maintain the crispiness, for example, what are the things we have to maintain? We have to maintain moisture barrier, oxygen barrier, oxygen gas barrier, light. It will directly affect. These are the parameters which we package. These are the packaging requirements which directly affect the product inside. Those are the packaging material should be capable of providing moisture barrier, oxygen barrier, light barrier. It should give good printability. The packaging material which we have selected, it should give, in case of laminates, it should provide good printability, so that we can communicate with the consumer about the contents inside, and We can represent our trademarks, brand name, everything. And once another important aspect of a packaging material which should serve is heat seal ability. Heat seal ability is a thing that once we are packed a product, for example laminates, if we are packing it with a biscuit without sealing, the product will not uh, in a crispy nature in case of biscuit. And the package should be in lightweight, so that uh, the package should be lightweight, so that it will not directly cause transportation costs, because the transportation increase in high weight of the product increases the tonnage per unit load while transportation. This increase in tonnage or kgs will directly affect the manufacturer or the distributor. And the mechanical properties like strength of the packaging material, the when if example, while taking a product, if we are dropping it by mistake, if it is falling down from our hand, the product inside the packaging material should be intact intact in the original form, so that it should have some bursting properties. The packaging material should have bursting properties, ability to withstand certain amount of pressure, and so. And the packaging material should be economical and safe. For example, glass bottles are cost around glass bottle for packaging a carbonated beverages will cost around 13 rupees or 15 rupees per bottle. But in case of a PET bottles in for packing of carbonated beverages, it cost around hardly 1 or 2 rupees, which is more economical then. So that we prefer, people and industry prefer, sorry, people will not prefer, industry will prefer plastics over glass. And as safe as as safe as glass, plastic will be as safe as glass, and with certain percentage of negligibility, and easy to display what are the contents. It is also used as a display tool, like what are the contents inside. It acts as a window for the product to be displayed. And what the customer needs, when we come to the thing, what the customer needs. Customer, while getting it from a retail shop, it should be convenient to carry from home to the sorry, from shop to the home. And it should be convenience. The packaging should give a convenience way to be carried from shop to the home. And it should be easy to open and close. Easy openability and closability should be provided. And after opening and closing, the product should be convenient to store. After storing, it should also provide an a proper way to dispense the product. And it should be tamper evident. Tamper evident in the sense, it is like foolproofness. When we are getting a coke bottle, a pet bottle, a plastic bottle, what we will do, we will just screw it. It is called mechanical breakaway, and it is called tamper evident, because these adulterants, not the perfect term, some unwanted things, the tamper evident packaging is made, come into picture to avoid unwanted things to be intentionally or unintentionally uh, mixed, to avoid mixing of unintentionally added products or intentionally added things to the products packed inside. And the packaging material provides uh, pro, provides a way to dispose of, and it gives the identity to the product, and it instructs the consumer on how to use. And it gives information about what is inside the packaging material. what is inside the what is packed inside. Following, next, come on to the factors influencing packaging. There are many factors, including there are many factors influencing packaging, out of which product needs, what the product needs out of the package, and what the market needs. As we discussed earlier, what are the market expectations? What are the market expectations for distribution needs? What, as per the product needs and market needs, how the distribution needs to be served, and regulatory needs, what the government says, what the government says us to follow as a manufacturer, material availability, even the needs are served. When designing a packaging material, all the things are written in a paper. For example, product needs will be written, market needs will be written, distribution needs will be written, regulatory needs will be written, material availability will be written, and the cost for different packaging materials we are thought will be written. But while ticking every boxes in the all the things, the regulatory need will not support the thing. For example, in this case, we will discuss about a Tetra Pak. Earlier, fruity and other carbonated beverages or fruit juices are packed in glass bottles, and it was slowly shifted from glass bottles to PET bottles. Why it has happened, we have discussed earlier. Due to the cost involved and sustainability concerns and carbon footprint concerns, and carbon and water footprint concerns, the glass bottles are shifted to plastic bottles. That is polyethylene terephthalate bottles. And what happened? The manufacturers have to give a whole new different experience because the market needed it. Whole new different experience in the sense the customer wanted to drink the thing in a straw, drink the fruity in a straw. For that purpose, what they have designed, the market has designed Tetra Pak. Tetra Pak is made. We have all seen Tetra Pak. These Tetra Paks are with usually with straw earlier, and from there the regulatory need. What happened is government has recently banned the use of single-use plastics where straw comes under it, and so that government has brought an amendment to avoid the straws, find an alternative way to give the consumer experience, so that everybody started scratching. The packaging developer, the packaging designers started to scratch their head how we can do, because the packaging in Tetra Pak, the straw is an most important component so that the people can enjoy the product inside it. Uh, this straw actually costs around only 10 to 30 paise, or max to max it costs around only 50 paise. But due to the regulatory needs, as per the amendment brought out by the company, as per the amendment brought introduced by the government, the manufacturers and the packaging designers are very hectic, and they gone for an alternative screw type closure. But alternate screw type closure, which is second displayed in the image, which doesn't serve the purpose, because it is not a straw first thing. It is not serving the market needs, but the product can be consumed as if they are drinking in bottles. And the when compared to the price of a straw, when compared to the screw type closure, the price is very high. It is more or less For example, the straw is costing around 50 paise. The screw type closure is costing around 1 rupee or 120 rupees, 1.20 paise, 1.20. So the cost, packaging cost has been increased, so that the packaging designer and the manufacturing has to reduce the packaging cost. So that what they have decided is they are gone to an alternative straw made out of paper. And until or until this amendment came, the use of paper straw is very less in an MNC kind of industries. So what happened is this increased from top players in India. If we consider top players like Amul, Parle Agro, and ITC, they wanted paper straw for their Tetra Pak packaging. So what they wanted to do, and there is no such manufacturer in India to supply that that much of volume to the manufacturers to serve their purpose. And they went to the foreign countries for sourcing. In foreign countries, there are very limited number of suppliers capable of supplying paper straws. So these paper straws, what happened, tend to increase. All the limited suppliers are approached by all the players in the across the globe or across India. So that what happened, price per unit of the paper straw got increased. However, the straw is costing higher than the normal single-use plastic straw. If it is the paper straw is two times of a plastic straw, for example, if considered, when the competitors or the demand is more for the product, the manufacturer of the paper straw increased the paper stock price from for example 80 price to 1 rupee 60 price. There also it affects the packaging cost, because the regulatory needs, the material availability, the packaging costs go hand in hand. Whatever the product needs, whatever the market needs, whatever the distribution needs, there could be, but the regulatory needs, material availability, and packaging cost plays a very important role, because the material, if it is not available, it will directly affect the revenue of the company. The packaging cost if increases, the it decreases the profit per unit sold for the manufacturer. It will directly affect if the cost per packaging is increased, it will directly affect the consumer also. So that this regulatory needs, material availability, and packaging cost will go hand in hand, will go hand and in hand. Next, we will go to the effects of hazards on packaging. Uh, these all are the effects, hazards, environmental hazards, or man-made hazards, or while hazards happening during a transportation or handling of the packed product. The hazards are drop and impact. For example, if we are taking a packet, if suddenly if it is mishandled, it will drop. It is okay if it is in case of 10 rupees Mary biscuit. If we are getting to home, it is okay. If we are dropping it in between, we will consume it. But consider what a Mary biscuit, if it is packed in a secondary package of 72 in numbers, if it is dropped while transporting, it will damage it totally of 72 packs of Mary biscuits of 10 rupees pack. Then what will happen? It will not be served in a sound condition. That is, the shape of the biscuit will not be maintained. It will be cracked, and uh, it will be in uh, it will be like pieces of biscuits inside the package. So that to the The package should serve so that the drop and impact affect uh, over the packed product should be reduced. And vibration during the transportation, whatever the means of transportation it is, and the vibration of the packed materials, because abrasion is the main parameter which affects the which affects the product directly. For example, the powder, milk powder, if we consider a milk powder, it is packed in a bottle, plastic bottle or a glass bottle or in a tin. Now it is transported from, it is packed completely, pakka, all the safety measures are taken. But if we have made a flaw in something, because milk powders are hygroscopic in nature, when it was, if the primary packaging material is with a flaw, something, if the moisture barrier is weak, if the oxygen barrier is weak, what happens? The hygroscopic nature, the water vapor will directly affect the uh, product, and due to the vibration, the uh, clots will be formed. It will form the milk powder balls will be formed inside, or else the whole mass of solid kind of thing will be formed. And in the same case, the compression is also should also be considered. The compression, the milk products, for example, if the products are packed in a secondary product, secondary packaging material, it it will be stacked in a warehouse one over the above. The packaging material should not affect the product packed inside the primary packaging material. The compression directly distributes the load to the product packed, and it should not affect the packaging material. Should have a efficient way to disperse the or distribute the load, compression load, uh, compression load applied over the package. So temperature is also a predominant factor. Temperature if increases, for example, high temperature, what happens? The it will increases the oxidation. It might increase the oxidation process, or high temperature will enhance the enzyme activity or microbial activity within the food product. This enhanced activity will reduce the shelf life of a product. Meanwhile, it spoils the food. Light, it also activates the it, light. It also activates the microbial activity and some other parameters of the food, so that it causes spoilage of food. Dust, when it is more associated with the packaging material. When the packaging material is about to pack a product, it should be in a clean condition. If the machines are not maintained properly, the dust will directly take part. The dust will directly mix with the product which is about to pack inside. Uh, Again, it's a question time. Uh, what are the major functions of packaging? List what are major functions. I have mentioned certain numbers. Uh, these are the major functions of packaging. Everybody is commenting on the comment section. Please take a paper and a pen, so that you can write it on a paper and pen, so that you will share after today's and tomorrow's session, or together all together in a single time. Okay, let's go to the next session. Next slide. Spoilage. You guys know what is spoilage, and as per spoilage is the process in which the food deteriorates to the point in which it is not edible for human consumption. It is not edible for human consumption, or its edibility becomes reduced. The original quality, which is in simple, the original quality which is made, or the desired quality which is decided by the manufacturer, will not be present if the product is deteriorated. Any changes which renders a product unacceptable for consumption. A complex event in which a product, in which a combination of microbial and biochemical activities interact within the food product. This spoilage actually paved the way for preservation practices. Causative agents of spoilage, as many of your food tech students and recent graduates, you know what is spoilage and the causative agents. Some of them are microorganisms, enzymes, air, light, physical damage, temperature, and time. Okay. Now we will go get into the testing standards. Mostly these are the testing standards which are used for testing a packaging material, and these testing standards are followed worldwide. Based upon the packaging material, it will be varied. It might be varied. ISO. Everybody have heard about ISO. It is an international organization for standardization. This ISO has framed laws for plastics and packaging, metals, and everything. And ASTM is American Society for Testing Materials. ASTM is American Society of Testing Materials. This American Society of Testing Materials frames rules or standards for majorly plastics. The people across the globe, including India, follow certain ASTM rules, so that ASTM rules for plastic packaging materials. And there comes TAPI. TAPI is Technical Association of the Pulp and Paper Industry. TAPI. TAPI is the Technical Association of the Pulp and Paper Industry. It is based upon the TAPI gives the testing and testing standards for the parameters to be considered for a packaging material, for a paper packaging material. TAPI is Technical Association of Pulp and Paper Industry. Technical Association of the Pulp and Paper Industry. And PIRA. PIRA is Physics Instructional Resource Association. But mostly PIRA will not be used. Majorly used are these three: ISO, ASTM, and TAPI. Oxygen transfer rate. Oxygen transfer rate is an important parameter in packaging of food and other products as well. Oxygen transfer rate is the quantity of the oxygen gas passing through the unit area of the parallel surfaces of the plastic film per unit time under standard test conditions. In general words, it is the proper definition as per the standard ASTM D30 3985. But in layman's language, it is like amount of oxygen gas permeability through a particular film which is under the test conditions, which is under the test conditions for 24 hours. Here it is mentioned as per unit time. Per unit time, in this case, it is 24 hours. The standard test conditions, the temperature has to be maintained around 73 degree Farad, 73 degree Farad or 23 degree Celsius at 0% relative humidity. The temperature and relative humidity has to be maintained throughout the testing process. The unit of this is cc per 100 inch square per 24 hours in US standards. In metric standards, it is cc per meter square per 24 hours. Oxygen transfer rate is the one of the most important parameter to be considered for a packaging material while packing a food product. For example, here consider the image given. Kindly see the image. Uh, there is a film sample. There is a straight line. It is which is visible there. In this line, that is the film sample. Okay, one side the test conditions are maintained. That is 23 degrees Celsius and 0 degree relative humidity of the environment. It is maintained. One side of the film, that is lower part of the film, it 100% oxygen. 100% of oxygen is maintained, and the upper part of the film, it is maintained with 100% nitrogen initially. But later, whenever what happens, the 100% oxygen, the side below the layer of the plastic film, below the layer, it consists of 100% oxygen. The oxygen under a time frame, it tend to permeate through the film. And it will pass on to the other side, that is upper side of the film. And then after 24 hours, this gas mixture of N2 plus permeated O2 is vented out. Their oxygen sensor will be provided. There will be oxygen sensor. The oxygen sensor will detect the percentage of oxygen permeated through the plastic film or the film sample. The some of the materials with best OTR are EVOH. EVOH, it is known as ethylene vinyl alcohol. It has an OTR value of 0.02. It is an OTR value of 0.02 US standards, and good. And polyvinylidene chloride PVDC, it is of 0.05, and acrylonitrile, it is of 1.0. But this EVOH has a good oxygen barrier, but it doesn't have good water barrier. Likewise, the PVDC, it is a generally it has a best oxygen barrier and oxygen barrier and water vapor barrier. It is used as a barrier material universally. And this acrylonitrile is it is of poor water vapor barrier. It has a poor water vapor barrier. And apart from it, PET has good oxygen transfer rate or oxygen barrier properties. It has a rating of 5, yes, US standards. The oxygen LDPE, HDPE, PP, which has poor oxygen barrier parameters. The oxygen transmission rate determines the oxygen barrier ability of the film. Then water vapor transmission rate. Water vapor transmission rate by standards, it is the quantity of water vapor passing through the per unit area of the parallel surfaces of the plastic film per unit time under standard test conditions. And here the test conditions are 37.8 degrees Celsius and 90% of RH according to the standard ASTM F1249. Likewise, same. The setup is completely same, but one side it is water vapor. The one side of the film will be consist of 90% relative humidity, humid nitrogen gas. One side, lower side of the film will consist of 90% of relative humid oxygen, nitrogen gas, and above it is dry nitrogen gas with 0% relative humidity. After 24 hours of the test conditions, the gas will be let out. The gas will be measured for the percentage of water vapor present in percentage of present. Total water total 90% mixed RH. It is the wet nitrogen and dry nitrogen in proportion. It will be vented out. The at the venting area, at the exit of the vent, there will be a sensor which will detect and give us the value of percentage of wet nitrogen present. The best WVTR materials are HDPE, which has zero point 0.3 US standards, and polyvinylidene chloride PVDC of 0.05 of US standards. Good water vapor barriers are LDPE and PET, which has 1.2 and 1.3 US standards respectively. And here's the other question: what is the full form of TAPI? Hope everybody have written the full form. I'll switch on to the next slide. And this is the thing. Okay. As it is time, it is all about. It is 9 o'clock now. Okay. Now you can ask your or post your questions in the chat box so that I will answer your. Post your questions in the chat box so that I will answer your questions. Guys, if you have any question, post the question in the chat box so that I will answer it. Is there any limits on reuse of single glass bottle like Coke and other soft drinks bottle? Okay. For glass bottles, okay, it should be sanitized properly. The thing is, once it is collected from the end user end, that is from retailers, retailer will transfer it to uh, the distributor. From the distributor, it will go to the warehouse of the company. From the warehouse of the company, it will again go to the manufacturing plant, where the bottle should be cleaned properly. Cleansing is an important parameter, and I will let you know the cleansing. Cleansing is the most important thing because in the retailer, once the cork is opened, when the closure of the glass bottles are open, it is not reclosable again. So that the environmental dust or other things, certain people have a habit of putting paper or everything inside it. So that cleansing is a process which has to be done, which will be done, and which will be done, and all the other things, it is uh, after cleaning completely, after the bottle is cleaned completely, it is what was it, the bottle is standardized, and it is treated with particular chemicals. After that, it is washed again, the new product is filled. Okay. What is busting capacity you have mentioned about in mechanical properties, and how it is tested in the industry? Okay. Busting capacity. Busting tester. There is a tester known as busting tester, which we may not see this time, but we will see in the future. But busting tester, it is used. What they will do is they will take a piece of test sample. For example, if for example laminates, you take a piece of lace chips packet cover, lace cover, so that you cut it by 10 by 10. And what you will do is there is an equipment called bust tester, where the pressure will be applied, complete shear pressure. What the test will be, the sample will be kept here, and there will be an hole, there will be a hole behind it, and it will be held here. and again it will be clamped. The material will be clamped. There is a movable clamp, upper movable clamp and lower fixed clamp, through which the ga- uh, through which the forced air will be passed. Is it visible? This is the movable clamp, upper clamp, and this is the fixed lower clamp. In the fixed lower clamp there will be an a provision for pressure forcing pressurized air, and the material will be held in between. And to receive the thing, the upper clamp will consist of an hole, so that the when the pressurized air will be increased from point to point to point. When the pressure is increased, the material fails. That means burst happens. When the burst happens, the pressurized air passage will be stopped, and the bursting is recorded. It is known as burst factor. Okay. If nylon and polyamide are same, why they are in the different groups? Okay, it is basically because of the cross-linked polymers. The additives which are added in while the manufacturing process. Uh, Generally, what is a food? What is a processed food? Food with additives forms processed food. Likewise, what is a plastic? Plastic is in generally polymer plus additives gives plastic. When there are agents which which accelerates the process and gives the desired output, and it gives the desired uh, product size or shape or parameters we require. During that process, certain types of additives are used. Those additives are capable of making a bond with the polymeric strand. It is a completely a polymeric subject. If I tell, it will take more time to explain. It is because of cross-linked. In If it is a thermoplastic, there will be very less percentage of cross-linking will happen. In case of thermoset plastics, it form highly cross-linked polymers will be there. Thermoset plastics cannot be reused or reused, and because of their cross-link ability, cross-linked nature. But thermoplastics can be recycled and reused. Good study material for packaging. Good study material for packaging. Um, Packaging, there is no proper study materials uh, available in the market. Uh, but you can refer Google and certain slide share presentations. But what I suggest is you can do a course on packaging from Indian Institute of Packaging, or you can connect with the early completed persons of from Indian Institute of Packaging, you can get materials and resources from them. It will serve purpose, because packaging is an growing field till date. Yeah, till date it is a growing field. There is no proper sufficient materials are available across the across anywhere. So it is better getting touch with some earlier batches of Indian Institute of Packaging students, or doing a course with IIP. It will you will get the packaging. You will get the materials. Okay, what are the examples of lamitube and flexible packaging? What is the meaning of lamitubes and flexible packaging? Can you give me the example? Okay, it is actually planned to cover in this session, but we will see it tomorrow. Uh, Lamitubes and flexible packaging. It is an I have made a like mini polymeric layer combinations. Also, I will display you, and the structure of the packaging materials that also we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, how many days we can use PET jars of drinking water of 20 liter or 10 liter? Okay, we can't tell about we can't determine it actually until or unless we come to know about the until or unless we come to know about the quality of the raw material and additives used in the manufacturing of the particular can or container or jar, whatever you are, whatever you ask. And there are certain parameters that is called when you're asking about drinking water usability of PET jars. It will there is a concept that we are about to see tomorrow. We will discuss it tomorrow, but based upon the raw material of the uh, polymeric granules and the additives, it will determine the longevity of the use of packaging of that packaging. Dhyendra, can we conclude the session for today?
Yes, so we will conclude. This was indeed a power packed and interesting session today. I'm sure everyone present here has learned a lot about food packaging. On behalf of Team Foodyaari, I would like to thank Mr. Maharajan Sundar, who has taken time from his busy schedule to enlighten us. It was an excellent session, and we are eagerly waiting for the next one. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Thank you.
Dhyendra.